be disseminated. I know I didn't pay for the 4 cameras, didn't know they were going to be here. Councilmember Cullen?
No, I don't.
Councilmember Gross? Well, you aren't here. Yes,
No.
you were on vacation. Councilmember Yee?
I'm not going to be cross-examined by you.
It's just a question.
I agree.
Supervisor
Andy?
Wrights?
Thank you.
Can we give Andy the floor?
Go ahead, Andy.
Andy?
I have a couple of questions. Last week at the meeting, Dwight Yee read through the state's pamphlet, and which was a questionnaire that asked specific questions that a town and a village need to answer economically, whether it's feasible to consolidate or disband the town. All right? No specific information that I've heard last week or this week has addressed those specific issues. We talk about the amount of money it costs for the village police force, but we really don't know what the consolidation is going to do to the policing of the village. All right? Whether we're actually going to save money or we're not going to save money. Are we going to have, if we take over the highway department and, and move them into, how do we take care of the roads in the village? Yes, it's only a square mile, okay, but it does add cost. All right, there's the assessor, there's dual assessor, there's a lot of things that there are 2 people taking care of, and I understand that, and I understand that these things need to be looked at. But they really do need to be looked at in terms of dollars and cents with a real plan, okay? Not just, we can save $500,000 by disbanding the police department. We still have the people there that are committing the crimes. We haven't solved the crime issue just by eliminating the police department. So I think the board needs to be forthcoming with that information. When they call an informational meeting, I think that's the information that the people in the town are looking for. If you're going to present something to the town, it should be based on fact. My next point is you talk about the debt of the town, of the village, and also their water district, okay? I live in the Springhouse Water District, and the town has no problem saddling us with $2 million worth of debt. Are we going to consolidate that into the town? Shouldn't we be treated the same way as the people within that 1 square mile of the village be treated? Should the people of Peach Lake, who went into debt for their stuff, be treated the same? I think we're saying things and we're putting things out there, big dollar amounts, and specific things, but we're not addressing the rest of the town. I think the town itself has a lot of issues that we shouldn't necessarily, and I am not necessarily for or against consolidation or taking over the village. I've lived in this town for 26 years now. I've watched what happened to it, but I don't know that we are addressing it intelligently, economically, to getting the proper answers. I think we're picking an issue of social responsibility and creating this veil,
I understand,
okay,
Andy.
that we're working under.
Just thanks, Andy, for your comment. To speak to your comment and Jake's with respect to the 1 week period, it has been a week. It was last Thursday since we hosted the town hall here, which was not a town board meeting, and consequently the town board's videographer was not present. But a record was made, and as I contemplated this update as item 9 on the agenda tonight, was to inform the folks at home and the folks in the audience about the meeting last week, and to inform folks about the issue of the possibility of consolidating the village of Brewster, the town of Southeast, or dissolving the village, and how we could proceed on that basis. As Councilman Cullen noted, there are state monies available for grants to address in detail the expenditures, savings, and personnel changes and so forth concomitant with any such idea as we're contemplating, we're discussing as a community. In a week's time, the supervisor's office is just me and Nancy. It's just the council folks serve it part-time. In a week's time, in the village too, there hasn't been an opportunity to address in detail all of the checklist items on the Attorney General's checklist that you mentioned. And that sounds like a reasonable idea that we might need a grant to do, to hire somebody who is facile with these issues to assist us as a community to inform ourselves and to make an informed decision. With respect to, that's with respect to the decimal points and the mice, figuratively. But with respect to the elephants, we can see the elephants, and they are ready targets. The Brewster Police Force at between $300,000 and $500,000 is an obvious opportunity for savings if that were zeroed. For generations, the village of Brewster was policed by the Putnam County Sheriff's Office and by the New York State Police, and they continue to do so on a 24-hour basis. In the past, that model has worked. So the savings of that significant amount of money is an obvious possibility. It speaks to the status of the finances in the village, that there is a question. Is the amount $300,000? Is the amount closer to $500,000 for the village police force alone, apart from the entire village expensive apparatus with everything else? The answer is that this town board, the special district's office, the fire district, the fire commissioners, not to speak for them, they can speak for themselves, and the school district, and not to speak for them, they can speak for themselves too. The unanimous experience, in my experience, of these various governmental agencies, which depend on the village, to our ability to see into the village's budget is, the village budget is opaque. And the opacity of the village budget has surfaced in, as I understand it, examination of the books by various government agencies, not just the town, not just the special districts, not just the fire department, and not just the school district. So we're all wrestling with what's going on in the village. And it is fair to note these elephants, like illegal immigration, like others, in the context of the analysis of whether it is appropriate or inappropriate to dissolve the village or to consolidate it with the town of Southeast. So again, to summarize, my goal was to inform the public of this meeting last week, to raise the issue, and to incept or assist the ongoing public dialogue. Councilwoman?
I just wanted to say that you had mentioned that there was a record of last week's meeting. I'd like to know where the record is. And I'd also like to point out that I thank the supervisor for not making this political. He's referring to mice and elephants and not mice and donkeys. I was hoping that Ms. Eckhart would be picking up on that because we really are trying our best to not make this political. So thank you.
If I could just
I know your obsession with the cameras last week, Liz. Go ahead, Bob.
I still would like to know where the record is. He brought it up. I didn't. Where is the record? Where is that film? Does anyone know?
Okay, as we're discussing these public expenditures and the impact of illegal immigration.
I want to know where that record is.
And the impact of illegal immigration on our community, I duly note your obsession with the cameras, Liz, okay?
I just want to know, but where
Councilman Cullen has the floor.
Where was the
Let's
film?
let Councilman
Where
Cullen.
is the record of it?
Liz, please.
It's a simple question.
Liz,
It's a simple question.
Liz, let's dial down the hysteria. Let's let Councilman Cullen speak.
We had it, the hysteria.
Thank you. Councilman Cullen.
Just, it seems like the Village of Brewster Police Department's getting trashed here. A lot of those officers are hardworking officers. A lot of them are retired New York City police officers, very experienced officers. They made a lot of good arrests, a lot of DWI arrests. They probably prevented a lot of crimes. There's a police presence down there. Sometimes it's hard you can't justify or know what's going to happen or not happen if an officer was there or not there. You know, so it is expensive, but I think the Village of Brewster, and they always did have a contract with the Sheriff's Department, and I believe they paid $150,000, and so they are, you know, they always did have a special arrangementship with the Sheriff's Department where they had a 24-hour presence, which no other community in Putnam County has. So I think, you know, we just got to, you know, there's a reason they have the police department. It's a decision the village board had, and it's something just, you know, to remember that they have made a lot of good arrests and prevented some crimes from
Thank you.
taking place down there.
Thank you, Councilman. Yes,
One
Councilman.
quick comment on a couple of the officers are Brewster High School graduates, and good kids, and they're working hard, and I agree exactly with Bob is saying. Those of you that have been around here a little while, you remember there was a Brewster Police Department going way back. And with the same responsibilities have today. The immigration issue was not an issue then, but other normal activities at night and kids coming out of the theater and so forth, so they were there. But it got out of hand financially with vacation days, sick days, salary increases, and et cetera. And eventually, as I understand it, and please anyone correct me if I'm a little off, the village disbanded the police department because of the cost and went to a contract with the Putnam County Sheriff's Department. So, and then this police department was again created a few years ago. So there is a history of yes and no being on and off. So I just want to make that observation.
Thanks, Councilman. And I don't mean to dilate the conversation tonight or move us off track, but I would like to, as a footnote, reply to Andy's concerns about the Springhouse Water District, which is not located in the village and doesn't purchase anything like water from the village and so forth. With respect to Springhouse, Andy, I'm not being coy or dodging the bullet. We inherited, all of us, the district and this town board, sitting not as a town board but as district commissioners, inherited the debt that you mentioned. I regret its presence, and I regret that it was imposed on the district and on us. And that's the hand we're dealt, and now we're going to have to deal with it. Now, with respect to enhancing water quality in your neighborhood, the Springhouse Special Benefit District, as you know, we have dug new wells and located a clean water supply to serve the 54 families at Springhouse. And we're in the process of finalizing financing and finalizing the design so that we can get shovels in the ground and hook up those wells to the piping and deliver that clean water to those families. Within the context of the financing, we as a town board unanimously have been careful to qualify this project for subsidized interest rate financing by New York State. And it remains my hope, and I was talking to one of your neighbors the other day about it, it remains my hope that when we finance the bundle with the subsidized interest rate, that the present level of expenditures will be matched or will subside a bit. And we simply, bond counsel, none of us knows exactly the status of how that future financing transaction will occur in all its particulars.
Okay. I'd like to readdress something there. What you're saying is absolutely true, that this town board has inherited this problem, okay? But this is not a new problem that has been before the town board for the past 15 to 20 years. So it has been the town board that has been, in my opinion, malfeasant in their handling of our water district. This is not the first time that we've had problems that we've rebonded. It's not the second time that we've had problems that we've rebonded. It's not the third time that we've had problems that we've rebonded. The town board, in its infinite wisdom, has seen fit to over and over and over and over again fix our water system, the newest, the latest, and the greatest, that we'll never have to do it again. Okay? So now here we are as residents, and I've been a resident for 26 years, and I used to pay $80 a quarter. I now pay almost $500 a quarter. I'm now going to be saddled with my share